Hi gang, Gina here, Destination Baby Kids YouTube channel. Super happy to have you here with me today to do a video demonstrating how you could theoretically install your Romer Nexa All-in-One car seat in a forward-facing 5-point harness mode with a seatbelt. So again, this video does not substitute for reading your instruction manual. You are responsible for the safety of your child 100%. So again, this video is not meant to supersede any type of instruction. It is meant to be just a visual aid to give some guidance in addition to your car seat manual as well as your vehicle manual. You need to read both your car seat manual and the child restraint section of your vehicle manual as well, just to make sure that you're operating within the confines of what's going on with your car seat and your vehicle, okay? So now that we've said that and we've made it explicitly clear that I am not superseding instructions and that this is just meant to be a visual demonstration to be helpful, let's talk about how you would theoretically install the seat forward facing with a seat belt for a 5-point harness child under 65 pounds and over 30 pounds. Now, the seat's actually very, very easy to install. The first thing that you're gonna wanna do is turn the seat to the side and make sure that you're in the correct recline position. So the recline adjustment is here on the back of the seat, and right now I'm in position B. That's booster. Since we're not using this as a booster seat right now, we're not gonna use position B. And I know from looking at my piece here that for my forward-facing kiddo, I need to be in the green spectrum. So there's a green spectrum with lines on the side of the seat. And let's actually go to position 7, which is a little bit of recline, but not a ton. And then while I have the seat turned, if I turn it to the back, what I want to do is undo the tether, because we're gonna set the tether up 100% when we install this seat. This is a very important step of the car seat, so we don't wanna screw this guy up. So we'll turn the seat forward facing. And I'm gonna throw my tether back behind the seat just to remind myself I need to do that step because I don't wanna skip it. And now if I put the seat down here and I look at my level, I'm in my blue-green line, no problem. So the seat is correctly reclined for the child that I'm setting it up for. And I have my top tether 90% ready to go to hook up. So we're starting off in very good condition. At this point, I'm gonna raise the headrest up as far as it will go, because this is gonna give me my clearest access to my forward-facing belt path. It's just a fancy way of saying where the seat belt goes. On the bottom of the seat, there's a pad that tucks over, and usually that piece is pulled through it. There's like a little Romer embroidered symbol here. So if you pull this pad up, on the inside of the seat, there's gray pinchers where you pinch your fingers together. Pinch on that and lift up. And what you'll notice here on the side of the seat is a window with a green line, okay? That is where our seatbelt or our tether, if we were gonna tether, it's where that would come through. So I'm not sure if you guys can see my hand down there, but I'm able to put my hand in on one side, and there is actually, can I make sure to get my hand out? Yes, there is actually the same window on the other side. So it's almost like a little tunnel through the back of the car seat. We're gonna take our seatbelt and we're gonna run that through this tunnel. So it goes through one hole, and there's my seatbelt right there. I set it down gently because now I'm gonna come around to the other side of the seat. And again, in your car, this would not be as annoying. Maybe more annoying, who knows? But I always find these demos to be more annoying because I'm not used to doing it this way. But we'll push the belt through all the way. We'll go ahead and buckle the seatbelt. And here's where this gets fun. Normally at this point, we would tell people, like, put an intense amount of pressure on the seat and really yank that seatbelt to get it in there nice and tight. And you know, 15 years ago, that's genuinely what you would say to people, these horrible little car seats that they would come into the clinics with. But now I'm just gonna pull on the shoulder belt to sort of like pick out any slack that's laying there in the belt. And then I'm gonna make sure that my belts aren't twisted and aren't crooked, so they're pretty straightforward. And this piece right here, this steel bar, that has the steel pieces that pop out that lock this together. So when I close this, I want to keep my hand in between that little pincher to really get enough strength to push that down, and that's clamping onto that seatbelt. So all of that additional slack that I used to have to worry about pulling out like a psychopath, the seat just actually eats that slack for me. This is shockingly tight. I'm not even gonna lie, I thought it was gonna be loose on camera here because I didn't tighten that belt at all. But the seat's not moving at all, and I don't even have this seat tethered in yet. So this is a very, very good, tight installation. Inspires a lot of confidence and was done in literally 2 seconds. Also, if I had arthritis or some type of pressing issue, this type of installation, very, very easy and straightforward. So like grandparents, something to keep in mind there. I'm gonna hook up my top tether now, because again, that's an important step and we don't wanna forget it. So, this car seat doesn't have a headrest, but you'll need to look in your vehicle manual to see if they want you to route it on top of, around, or under your headrest. So again, you're not getting away with not reading your manuals, folks. You gotta do it. I know it's an additional step, but it's sitting there in your glove box. Just open it up and have a look. So we'll hook on our lower, not our lower, but our top tether, in our top tether position, and I'm gonna pull on that tether strap to make that tight. I can pull up additional slack through the one side from the other, and I'm gonna be able to really get this car seat insanely tight with very little effort on my part. So I didn't get sweaty, I didn't get a blood blister. I'm gonna make sure I'm still in my level line, which I am for this position. So this kiddo should be in good shape to go. In a forward-facing seat here, again, this padding stays down and forward for children under 40 pounds. Again, I would argue if they're under 40 pounds, ideally they'd still be backward facing. But once they get past 40 pounds, you do have the opportunity to flip this guy upward. Let me just double check my sheet to make sure I'm not making this up. Yeah, 40 through 65 pounds forward facing, that pad can be either up or down. Now if it goes up, it's not gonna sit like this, it's actually gonna sit underneath this pad. And there are Velcro pieces which align with tab holes on the actual foldy part of the seat. So if you put that up, you're gonna wanna make sure to Velcro both sides to keep it up. And that might give kiddo, who's bigger and heavier, more leg room down here and a little bit more side support up here, which is quite nice. You'll never lose that piece. You'll never be without the side impact piece, which again is how this seat passes the new side impact federal safety testing. So very, very nice feature just built into the seat itself. Okay, if you have questions or you have comments on this specific method of installation, feel free to leave it below, dropping my remote. I just want to say thank you for watching. And we appreciate every viewer, every view. And then you can also check out the video that shows how to turn this guy into a booster seat and hook it up with lower anchors and top tethers if you are so interested as well. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next video.